School Lowdown for Ernest Boker and Jeff Bird. I'm Steve Wilson. Well, Porter Chapel will be hosting a non-district game with Manchester, but it's still an important game for the Eagles.
Yeah, they still have one game left after this one, Prentice Christian, which is a do-or-die game. They still need to win that one probably to be in the playoffs. They lost a chance to get a home playoff game last week, so you want to build up some momentum, and it's a homecoming game, so you always want to win that one. So just a lot of little intangibles kind of more in this one than anything concrete.
Well, Coach Wade Patrick told me yesterday that they had some issues in the red zone. What did you see out there last Friday?
Not a whole lot of not good. They got down to the goal line on their first series and fumbled at the goal line. They had a couple other kick returns that were a step or two away from being broken, and they couldn't get it done. They had 4 turnovers. Just only had 75 yards on offense. Just never got anything going whatsoever. The defense played well to keep them in the game, but if you can't score points, you can't win. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Well, there's an old Zen Buddhist proverb that says that the difference between heaven and hell is just a tenth of an inch of difference. Would you say that's true with PCA nowadays?
Yeah, it seems that way. They've had a couple of games where they've seemed like they've been a step or two away, a missed tackle here or there. Maybe catch a pass or not catch a pass, and that's the difference between winning and losing.
Well, Warren Central will be at Clinton, and just like for Vicksburg, this is basically going to be a playoff elimination game for WC.
Both teams are 1-3 going into the game. This is a long-standing rivalry for Warren Central. It's probably the longest rivalry they have of anybody, actually more than Vicksburg, I think, because they've been playing Clinton since the Little Dixie days. So Clinton's had some struggles this year. They lost Rashad Jones, their quarterback, after the Madison Central game. They only scored 3 points against Northwest. The good thing about them is their defense is pretty strong. They held Northwest to 14 points. They have a very good linebacker named Raphael Harris, and has 101 tackles on the year. And it's their best playmaker.
Well, obviously, WC will be looking for a rebound. They were unable to get the ball to Corey Davis. Chase Ladd did not complete a pass all game. And talking to Josh Morgan after the game, Murrah was able to stack the box and didn't have to worry about their passing game. That's something they're going to have to get into gear against Clinton.
If you can't run and you can't pass, you don't have an offense.
Pretty much.
Struggle.
Well, Vicksburg will be traveling to Murrah, and Murrah is definitely not the Murrah teams of yore.
No, definitely the biggest surprise in Region 2-6A this year is Murrah. They shocked the world, I think, a little bit when they knocked off Clinton, and all of a sudden they're in prime position to clinch a playoff berth if they can beat Vicksburg this week. And not just a playoff berth, but probably the number 3 seed in the region.
Well, watching Murrah against WC, the one thing that struck me was their ability to run the football. They got 2 great backs, they got a big offensive line, and their defense did as good a job against WC's offense as I've seen anyone do.
And it's no secret, if you can slow down Vicksburg's offense and you can run the football, you're going to beat them. Madison Central showed that last week when they just ran over them, chewed up some clock, and just kept Vicksburg's best weapon, their offense, off the field.
Well, I think that's something that Murrah is going to be able to do against Vicksburg's offense.
Keep going.
Well, St. Al will be getting a well-needed bye week this week.
Yeah, they lost to Stringer 55-14 last week, and that's their 9th loss of the year. They've got 2 games left. They're bringing the junior high up this week because their final game was Monday at Madison St. Joe. So the big thing this week is getting those kids used to high school football.
Well, it's not going to be an easy introduction considering that you got region powerhouse Boca Chica and always strong, always tough Mount Olive.
Yeah. Who would think Mount Olive has won the state championship last year, but it's not going to make the playoffs this year. So that'll be their last game. They'll be in a kind of a foul mood for St. Al coming in there. One thing about St. Al that you can raise your head on, the 4 leading tacklers all will be back next year. You have Sage Lewis, a junior, Elliot Bexley, a junior. Like I said, both those kids will be back, so that's something they can build on.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of High School Lowdown. For Jeff Bird and Ernest Boker, I'm Steve Wilson. Be sure to read our sports section and check out all the happenings on www.vicksburgpost.com.